What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We got a new video for you guys today. We're in the bait laboratory and we're going to be making some new Ned rigs with a brand new mold. And I got a question for you before I tell you what kind of mold this is. Have you ever been in a situation where you were fishing a Ned rig and really wished you had a Magnum size Ned rig that you could do something similar, bigger bait, but similar type of presentation? If the answer to that question is yes, DoIt Molds has you covered. They have the brand new weedless MidWest Finesse Magnum size jig head. So basically we got sizes that are from 5/16 up to 5/8 ounce with weedless presentations. We got upsized Victory 10777 hooks. Those are the same model number as the hooks that go in the original MidWest Finesse weedless version of this. Now we have it in a Magnum size, bigger hooks, bigger gauge in those hooks. Going to be able to bomb it out deep water, heavier line, the whole deal. We're going to be making some of those heads today so you guys can check them out for yourself. But make sure to use the DoIt Molds affiliate link that I have down in the description, so that way if you go and buy this mold, they know that I sent you there. Really helps me out and it shows them that my content's getting in front of you guys. So please use that link anytime you go to the DoIt Molds site, so that way they know that I sent you. So while the lead pot is heating up and getting that lead ready to go into our mold, just want to tell you a couple things about the hooks. The hooks are 2/0 through 4/0 that are going to fit in this mold. The 2/0 are only going to work up to the 1/2 ounce sizes, but the 3 and the 4/0 are going to work in every size of this mold. So a lot of hook options. I think that that's awesome. You're going to be able to play around with different sizes. So if you have a smaller bait that you need to put on a bigger head, you're going to be able to do that with that 2/0 size and that 3/0 size. And if you want to put a bigger bait on there, you're going to be able to use that 4/0 hook in a lot of these cavities as well. So it's going to give you a lot of different options, a lot of different bait options, and I think we're going to be able to get real versatile with a Ned rig now. So something that's really cool about this mold is it doesn't take a lot of stuff to actually make these. You literally need a hook, a mold, some lead, and something to melt that lead down, and then whatever color paint you want to paint these. There's no weed guards you got to put in there. There's no other little accessories, wire keepers, or anything like that. So the stuff that you need to actually make this is super minimal and super simple. So let's get into it. The lead pot's ready to go. Let's get into it and let's make some of these Magnum sized weedless MidWest Finesse jigs. So to start, we're going to take our 2/0 hook and put it in the 5/16 slot. Just like that, pretty simple. Then we're going to take our 3/0 hook and we are going to put it in the 1/2 ounce slot, which is this one. And then we're going to take our 4/0 hook and we are going to put it in the 5/8 ounce slot. Just like that. So we're going to close up the mold and then we're ready to start pouring. Alright, so our 3 Magnum sized MidWest Finesse jigs are done. They're poured up. So we're going to open up the mold. As you can see, we have our 5/16 right here, we have our 1/2 right here, and our 5/8 right here. They all poured very well. And as you can see, these are some big size heads right here. Like, you can fish these super deep, and then this one's going to be great probably for that, I don't know, 20-foot range, 25 to 30 foot in the 1/2 ounce, and then super deep. Or if you got to even get it through some cover, you could use that 5/8 ounce. Okay, so this go around, we're going to make some 5/16 again. I really like that size. I think I'm going to use it a lot. We're going to make some 3/8 with the 3/0 hook. And then we are going to make another one in the 1/2 ounce with the 3/0 hook once again. One thing you want to make sure of is that you have a nice closed mold. Everything is lined up and nice and snug. Okay, so now it's time to open up the mold and take a look at our jigs. So we have our 5/16 right here, the 3/8 right there, and then our 1/2. And as you can see, this mold pours very well. Everything is nice and complete. The sprues are all complete. Everything just looks real good, and they're going to paint up really well as well. So we're going to make one more round of these. We're going to take our 2/0 hooks and make another small one. And then we are going to take the 2/0 hook once again, put it in this one right here, and then I want to make another 1/2 ounce with that 3/0 hook, and then we're going to close up our mold, check to make sure everything is nice and flush, which it is, so we are ready to pour. Alright, so it's time to check our jigs, and once again, they turned out very, very well. We got our half right here, we've got our 3/8 right here, and our 5/16 right there. These things are ready to paint, so now we're going to move and we're going to take these heads that we've already made and we're going to get them all painted up. So there's always some prep when it comes to painting your jigs, whether it's these MidWest Finesse jigs or any other jig for that matter. And I like to cut off the sprues, and then we are going to do that on a few of these on camera, and then I'll finish up the rest of them off camera. But basically you want to cut those sprues off, obviously, so that way your jig actually functions properly. And then one other thing that I like to do is I like to take a file and just file them down so they're a little bit more flat on the top of these heads. That way when they're down there on the bottom, if I have everything set up right, they're going to have a better chance of standing up appropriately down there on the bottom and giving that Ned rig as much action as possible. So guys, it's time to paint our jigs. This process is pretty simple overall. I like to use a fluid bed. I think the fluid bed makes things a lot easier. You can get one on the DoIt Molds website. The website is going to be linked down in the description of today's video, and please use that link so that way they know that I sent you. And then when you get to the site, just search on their website for a fluid bed, and then it'll take you right to it. The fluid bed just makes it a little bit easier to paint. You get a better coverage, a little bit more of an even coverage on your baits, so I think it makes a difference. I think it's worth the money. I use a heat gun to heat up my jigs or whatever bait I'm trying to paint. I use the heat gun because it's simple, they're cheap, and it's easy to take in and out. The length of time you put it over the heat of the heat gun depends upon how big of a head you have on the jig. So in this case, those 3/8 ones are going to go on there a little bit longer than the 5/16. For the average half-ounce jig, it's probably going to be around a 20 count or something like that. And then you're simply just going to dip the head into the paint with that fluid bed on. You're just going to swirl it around there for a quick second, take it out, check it out, make sure that everything's nice and even. If it has a shine on it and the coverage looks good, then just hang it up there, let it dry off, and then we're going to go into the next step, which is cleaning out the eyes of the hook so that way you don't have any issues when it's time to tie your line to those jigs. So everything's done being painted. Now it's time to clean them up just a little bit in order to get them in the oven to bake. The reason you want to bake everything is because it makes your powder paint much more resilient, much more durable when you're banging it around on rocks and stuff like that. It will still chip over time, but if you don't do the baking process, they'll chip much, much easier. What I like to do for this is I just basically look at my jig, and if there's paint covering up the eye of the hook, I'm going to take an eye buster tool and then an old hook point from an old jig that I made or a swim bait head or something like that and clean it out. I'm going to take the eye buster tool and I'm just going to bust through that initial paint, and then if it doesn't clear it out all the way, then I'll take that hook point and I'll put it through, clean it up just a little bit more, and then now they're ready to go into the oven to bake for 20 minutes at 350. I like to do it twice because I feel it makes that paint just a little bit more durable when you bake them 2 times for that 20-minute period of time at 350 degrees in my toaster oven. I just feel like it gives it just a little bit more durability. So as you can see, guys, this is a pretty cool little jig. The Magnum size weedless MidWest Finesse jig. This isn't designed for your regular Ned style soft baits. You're gonna wanna go with bigger baits. This is a bigger head, bigger hook, bigger baits. We're looking for big bites with this thing. Cast it out deep and get ready to hold on. I'm super confident I'm gonna be able to catch some fish on these things. Haven't decided exactly what baits I'm gonna pair up with it right now. Some of the bigger craws, bigger beaver style baits, big worms, stuff like that. Not your traditional Ned rig baits. You can go with that same style of bait, but just go with something bigger. You got bigger hooks on there. You're gonna need more plastic. So guys, remember, if you're gonna get this mold, make sure to go to the DoIt Mold website through my affiliate link that is down in the description of this video. Copy and paste that link somewhere so you can use it anytime you go to the DoIt Molds website. It's the only way they're gonna know that I sent you over there. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video, checking out the brand new DoIt Molds MidWest Finesse Jig mold in the Magnum sizes. See you guys.